My goals here in Enfield are tied very closely to Congressman Courtney. From a Democratic standpoint, they're in power. So I think you dance with the people who brought you to the dance, and you hope that you get a good song.
Again, one of the reasons why, and again, in full disclosure, when I voted against you being appointed town manager, I was worried about partisanship because of your former position. Again, I want you to be able, if it's true that you went to a fundraiser in town for a Democratic candidate, it's not right. Sorry, I don't know if it's true, and that's why I'm going to let you address it. We're hearing that you went to a fundraiser for Joe Courtney in town. If that's true, I'm giving you the opportunity to address it. But that's not right. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan position, and I'm sorry, I have a problem with that. And if I'm wrong, I will be the first to admit it. So I want to make sure you get to be able to address that. And I heard it, so I just want to make sure I address that.
In terms of Congressman Courtney, I've been a supporter and donor to him for years. Prior to becoming mayor, I was the Director of Government Relations and Communications at the Connecticut Pharmacists Association. And Congressman Courtney, although not my congressman, was one of the leading proponents of pharmacy issues, whether it was PBMs or the Medicare donut holes, or whether it was insurance for the Trident employees down at the base. He was extremely responsive, and I appreciate that in an elected official, regardless of whether they're a D, an R, a libertarian, or anyone else. So I have always donated to him. I will continue to donate to him, and I was personally invited by Pat Tellerita to come to the firehouse on Saturday. Being in town anyway from Mount Carmel, I did go. And I will continue to go to support anyone who I think is supporting my goals. My goals here in Enfield are tied very closely to Congressman Courtney. And what he has done in the short time that I've been here, moving things and ensuring things that are here keep moving, including the train platform, which I know has been in the works for years, is really impressive. He's a wonderful congressman, and we're lucky to have him. From a Democratic standpoint, they're in power. So, in fact, if you look at my phone right now at 7:30, Susan Beisowitz called me. We've been friends for 25 years. I have Ned Lamont's cell phone number in my phone. I can call Chris Murphy right now on his personal cell phone if you need something. All of these things are really beneficial for Enfield. So regardless of the actual letter that follows my name, I'm happy to use any resources that are available to me, including some of my Republican friends who I've worked with over the years, in order to do what's best for this town. But most importantly, it's making sure that Enfield's on everybody else's radar, especially with the amount of money coming through. So I think you dance with the people who brought you to the dance, and you hope that you get a good song. So that would be my response to that. Thank you.
And then, too, I'm going to leave it, but I disagree with your assessment. You're supposed to be a nonpartisan individual, and you gave a pretty partisan speech just a minute ago, which is fine. But I'm just going on record. I don't agree. This is the council manager form of government supposed to be run. So I just want to get that on the record. Thank you.
One. Okay. All right.
Yep. I'm against.
You're against, Mike?
Yeah, it's the first one. First one.
The regular meeting, August 8th.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, I know there was some conversation going on. There's that things are admitted and they're supposed to be added. So I think
just as a point of order, maybe back it up to discussion. Is that?
Yeah. Okay. Is there any discussion on that?
Yeah. Again, I'm against. I'm against. Yep.
Councilor Mangini.
Yeah, I have some information here. Freedom of Information, Section 1-225, specifically states that except for executive session, as defined in Section 6, 1-200, all votes shall be open to the public, meaning that no minutes shall be changed or altered prior to a public meeting such as this meeting that we're at current. So any changes or additions must be done current this meeting or another public meeting. Otherwise, we're violating the statute.
I don't want to violate the statute. I just make a motion to add the comments that were made to my question at the last meeting by the town manager that are admitted in the minutes. So I vote them to add.
I second that.
Yeah.
That was a motion made by...
I don't want to violate the statute. Fair point. So I want to make sure fair point. So I want to make sure that the motion is to add the comments about the, again, being at a fundraiser that were omitted in the minutes as submitted.
Okay. Is there a second, Councilor Finger? Okay. Okay. Comment? Go ahead.
Is somebody prepared to read those in? Do those have to be? That's what I'm not sure about. Like, does that have to be read in right now, or is someone prepared to do that?
I make a motion that we table the minutes until they can be corrected. I did send an email, and I was told that I would receive corrected minutes prior to this meeting.
Not according to statute.
Well, I understand that, but again, I have emails that said the corrected minutes would be at this meeting. I asked for the corrected minutes once I read them and saw that a conversation was omitted.
That's incorrect.
So just as a point of
Okay.
order, there's an open motion, right? So I think we should resolve that and then consider any second.
There is an open motion, so
I'm asking that the minutes be tabled so that the missing minutes could be added in, and then we can vote on them next time.
That's the point. You can't do that according to statute. It has to be done publicly, so if you want to add, then speak, add, it'll be recorded, and then when we get the minutes for the next meeting, then they'll be either approved or not. But you can't have town staff prepare additional minutes without bringing it forward to the public. The public has to be present when we make changes like that, according to the statute.
So do we play the YouTube video of the meeting so that they can hear what the response was and they get added in? Because I can't read them verbatim because I don't have them written.
yeah. Excuse me. I'd like to get Attorney Tallberg's opinion on this.
I think the issue is that the minutes are only required to state what was done, not specifically what was said. They're never supposed to capture every word. That would be like a transcript in a court proceeding. And there's been this tradition where the minutes have gotten very detailed. It's my understanding that there was an effort to try to thin down and make them more readable and more of a summary. So I think the minutes are typed up by a private contractor. Typically, if a counselor sees something in the minutes they don't like, there's a correction. We say, oh, let's correct. There's a typo or something. Here, I think a counselor wants to add additional text, and I don't know how much time you want to spend on that, but it's not required.
No. I'd like to hold on one second.
Mike made a motion.
Correct.
And Doug seconded it.
Correct.
So I think we need to do all in favor of that motion
Correct.
before Marie does her motion.
Okay, we are going to vote on the motion that was seconded by, proposed by Councilor Ludwig and seconded by Councilor Finger. Okay? All in favor? Against?
What a surprise.
Okay.
Diluted
Okay.
minutes.
Yep. Defeated 6-4. Yes. Comment.
I just wanted to make a comment. Attorney Tallberg, you mentioned about that some of our comments and discussion could be trimmed down, but the whole response was deleted. It wasn't even trimmed down, and just lost the whole crux of the whole conversation by only having Councilor Ludwig's question, and then the answer by the town manager just not even trimmed down. It's just not there. And typically, all our meetings have all of our comments, trimmed down a little bit, some of them, because some of us can be lengthy, but it's not even trimmed down because it's not there.
Point of order, there's no motion on the floor, and
No.
I don't know how to respond to that. I didn't type the minutes.
So I got something I want to say.
Councilor Finger.
So, when Councilor Ludwig asked you those questions last meeting, I sat here, stood up, and defended you and wanted you and told you don't have to answer that question. You chose to answer that question on your own. I was trying to defend you as I was today with my emails because you made a very good point of standing up for yourself. Now with these missing comments that you made, that just makes me feel like there's absolutely games being played, and I don't like it. And the games are being played with, excuse me, I have the floor. Remember, Cindy? So I'm just saying is that it just doesn't surprise me that some other people voted against, having these minutes put in or these words put in. It's irritating me that there were always a shit show on this bias, whatever you want to call it, and it's getting really out of hand. And I don't appreciate that. When I go to defend somebody and they stood up and defend themselves, it'd be nice to know that they're going to stick to that. And however happened to those minutes, those words that you spoke that night, and I was proud of you when you did that. Very proud of you, because it's your life. And now all of a sudden, now it's all gone. It's all gone. I wonder where it went or why it didn't happen. That's all I got to say.
So just as a point of order, I'm interpreting this as discussion from the original motion. Is that right?
Yes, we are going to vote. Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I do think that there's a very simple clarification. As Councilor Mangini pointed out on whatever that section is, I do not have the power to correct minutes, nor do anybody on this dais or here. They're done by an independent contractor. If you feel that there are parts that are missing, all that has to happen through the power that is vested in you is someone makes a motion to amend, correct, or modify the minutes, but you have to present what you want modified and corrected. That's all that has to happen, and then the motion comes forward. It's recorded by Kenzie. It brought back to the office, is given through the video, and when you next see the minutes, they will show that the meeting minutes of August 8th have been corrected and modified. That's all that has to happen. I don't have the power to do that, but you do. So all you have to do is make a motion and state within that motion what you want to say, as opposed to just making it a motion without an end point, and you can vote on that, which I have no problem doing. I just don't have the power. So someone has to make the motion and say the words, and the minutes can be corrected to reflect what some people view as the omission, which I agree. I spoke on the record, and it's not reflected.
So as a point of order, Mr. Mayor, is
yes.
it right that we're coming back to the original motion to approve the minutes?
That is correct. Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes? 6 against? Okay, 6 in favor, 4 against.